Hi everyone, welcome back to Student Pages Spotlight series. I'm your host Izzy, and today I'm joined by the amazing BEKS. Thank you so much for joining me. And I want to kick things off by saying that your latest single, Nice Try, has been making waves, and your fan favourite melodrama has had a resurgence in remixes this year. You've had a lot going off, and I just want to ask you how your latest music has helped to inspire your overall creative process.
Well, it's funny that you say that, Izzy, because I'm actually going to speak about something that you don't know. In the last 2 days, I have written a song in my bedroom that has really resonated with the community. It is called Terf Work, and it speaks on, yes, well, it speaks on what the title is about. And that was really fueled by just the microaggressions, the bullying towards our trans community. And so I think that's going to be the next song that you're going to get. But in terms of my other songs that have already been released, you spoke about Nice Try. That was inspired by Pam Bondi and the way that she stood in the front line of all of the victims, and blocked justice for the victims of the Epstein files. So I would say that even though I make pop music, a lot of my ethos that comes through in my music is punk, and it's protest music, and sometimes that's obvious and sometimes it's not.
And I think it's such an incredible thing that, as you said, there's a community in which it resonates in so well, and to be able to kind of give this voice to the people is such an incredible thing that you get to do. But I also want to talk about how you were recently a guest judge on the opening episode of the current season of Drag Race Down Under versus the World. How did you find this experience? Must have been so exciting.
It's better than winning a Grammy. It was amazing. I got to be on set with Michelle Visage and Lazy Susan, and the audacity to critique some of my favorite queens, to critique Raven, was just incredible. I had so much fun, and I feel so grateful and honored to be selected to be in that position.
100%. I can imagine that must have been such a whirlwind of a time and so much fun. But so we've touched on kind of what you've got going off at the minute, what you've maybe been up to this year, but could you give us a little background on how you got into the music industry in the first place and why you decided to choose this direction?
Wow. I haven't had a linear experience with music. I wrote my first radio jingle when I was 9 years old, and that was my first paid job as a songwriter. And then I deviated and I became an actress, and I was selling handbags out of the back of my car along the east coast of Australia, spending a lot of time by myself. And I wasn't feeling that acting was giving me the creative freedom. So I started writing these jingles again, and I would record them in roadside motels using the fan as reverb and pots and pans for percussion. And then I learned the drums, I learned guitar. I was a punk rocker with a shaved head. I was the front of an all female punk band. We toured with The Darkness, Amel and the Sniffers. And then I didn't really consider that an all girl band would mean that some of my band members would get pregnant. And that led me to my solo career. And in my solo career, I have done incredible things with artists like DJ Sammy. I think as an independent artist, I've had the ability to try lots of different genres, and I'm still exploring and expressing myself.
And I think that's such a beautiful thing that you're able to, with music, kind of try different genres and blend genres. And I know we said earlier that a lot of your music is protest music. It's politically driven. It gives a voice to people. It gives a voice to yourself. But is there any other inspiration behind your music? Perhaps people in your life, or like people that drive you to keep striving and keep putting this incredible music out?
The tea is so hot, I can't even spill it, but it is all there in my EP Hard Gloss. I cannot reveal much more, but that EP was entirely founded on a tumultuous relationship, and I do draw inspiration. I consider music as therapy. So it is very revealing to me. If you want to get to know me as an artist and understand my perspective, then it's all there in the music that I write. Stylistically, I'm really inspired by Peaches, Latigra, Karen O from the Yeah Yeah Yeahs, Lady Gaga, Charlie XCX, Madonna, Ash Nico, Dorian Electra. I love female empowerment and any music centered around the female women's experience is what's of interest to me.
I feel like we're seeing a big explosion of that recently, which is really lovely. Is there anything that you feel like you could have been affected by, and how did you work through this?
I've definitely experienced ageism. I'm
Mm,
not your 18-year-old artist. And where I'm at in my artistry right now is very centered. But if you had have asked me even 6 months ago, I was like a ball in a pinball machine. Someone would tell me something and I'd go in that direction. Someone would tell me something and go in that direction. And I think that all comes down to my own, I guess, trauma and need to please people. And so by pleasing so many people, I really didn't understand who I was. And in the last 6 months, I've come a long way in my own self development and my mental health. And I feel very centered. Now, when people give me compliments about a particular style, I can be grateful for that, but I don't need to pivot my entire career to cater to that
mhm,
perspective. And if any young artists are listening, I would say the biggest piece of advice is to value your fans. I had a lot of industry people telling me this and that, and you got to do this, and you got to do that, and you got to do this. And I was metaphorically on my knees, desperate for someone to make this happen for me. And my own autonomy and gratitude to my fans has led me to where I am now.
And would you say that that has been your biggest challenge throughout your career, or do you feel that there is maybe a standout moment that is something that you can be proud that you've overcome?
Look, as part of my transition into a positive mindset. I don't dwell on the past because
Mhm.
giving problems and feeling victim to the challenges of being an independent artist in a ever moving landscape. I would just say that finding myself and centering myself has been like the biggest hurdle,
Hmm.
and not being a victim, just eradicating that victim mentality.
Hmm. And I think, well, on a more positive note, then perhaps to
Yes.
not dwell on that, what do you feel like? Is there a specific moment in your career or a specific thing that has happened that you look at and you are so overwhelmingly proud or so pleased with where you've come to today?
Oh, babe, sitting on that panel, watching
Hmm.
Philippines national treasure, Miss Jade So, and UK icon Michael Maruli lip sync to my song Melodrama. I was just giving mother, auntie. I just loved it. I was like, no one can take this away from me. This is the pinnacle of compliments to be
Hmm.
asked to sit there, and also to have all of these queens have to learn the song because they obviously don't know who's going to be eliminated and who has to
Hmm.
lip sync for their life. So I just imagine them all walking around the workroom with their headphones on, listening and learning my lyrics. And it's a lot of lyrics, thinking, wow, like
Hmm.
I live rent free in some of the biggest icons in the world.
And how many people can say that? Incredible. I wanted to ask you as well, do you have any advice in particular for students or young people? I know that you've touched on staying positive and like keeping your fans center focused, building your community, but is there any particular advice you would give to someone looking to get into this industry?
It's all about the fans. And I know I've mentioned that before, but I burnt out going to networking events and pleading with managers and labels, just desperate energy seeping out of my pores. And it made me feel icky.
Mm,
And so if you are listening, I just have to say, like, if there's one or two people that are a fan of your music, put your energy into them and keep growing and keep serving the people that celebrate you. Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated.
What an incredible phrase. That's incredible. And so obviously we kind of touched on earlier that you have been writing a song at the minute and you're thinking that that may be the next one that we get to hear. But is there anything else that you've got going on right now? Anything that you fans can be expecting to see from you in the future?
Yes. Well, now that we've established melodrama, I have some remixes coming. So I'm working with James Herr, who is an amazing DJ from the UK, Alessia Labate, who just had a song with Alan Walker, and a gorgeous queer artist from New York and a DJ from New York, Vanessa and Bentley Robles. I've got remixes of melodrama coming out. And then I have a feminist EDM song called Turn This Up. And then maybe there's one I'm working on as well about poly boys. I don't know if you have ever experienced one, and nothing against the poly community, but I feel like there's a few overly advantageous guys out there that have been using poly culture as a way to justify their attachment issues. That's something I'm exploring right now.
Well, it's incredible, and I mean, I can't wait to see everything that you've got coming up. And again, I think it's so incredible that your music can become this vessel for all of these ideas that you have and for things that will resonate with people all over the world. So, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to chat with you. I'm sure everyone watching really resonated with a lot of stuff that you said. And thank you to everyone at home who tuned in. I'll see you all next time.